Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Expectations with me, Craig. Selamat Hari Raya and Happy Eid Mubarak to everyone that is celebrating. It's been a hectic week, as it seems to be for the whole season. But we had a second only ever triple game week, which was right up till yesterday. And I think it kept all the FPL managers on their toes and just waiting to see how their captains did. But we're going to go into it. I'm never alone here. I always have the experts with me. And today we have FPL Nitro. How you doing?
Hello. I'm doing well. Thank you, Craig.
And I know why you have that big smile on your face, and you're going to reveal to us why you do. And Joe, how are you doing?
Good. Good. I mean, we are having our public holiday, so it's a good break. And but game weeks are coming in thick and fast, so it's just going to be like just slightly over a week, and this season will be over.
Yeah, it's been a very hectic week, especially for us over here in Malaysia. With we're in another lockdown, aren't we? So it's always a bit tough, but it's given us maybe a little bit more time to look at our FPL teams and really go into the nitty gritty stats as we build towards the end of the season. But we're going to go straight into it and look at triple game week 35 and how we did. As I mentioned earlier, it was only the second ever time that this has been done, a triple game week. And I think a lot of managers loaded up on United assets. There were some injuries. There were some players that were dropped. I didn't play all three. But we're going to go into it, see who you guys picked, who you guys captained, and how you did. So Nitro, we're going to start with you first and look at your team. 131 points.
Woo!
Absolutely nothing here. Talk us through changes, how many hits you took, and who did you captain?
All right, so very good week, if I do say so myself. I made 2 changes, and I didn't have to take any hits because I had held the transfers from the previous game week. But the changes I made were, I believe it was Lingard, who used to be in for Greenwood. But anyway, Greenwood was the star man brought in the place, and then I made a bit of an impulse transfer. I did Kane to Aguero. In hindsight, DCL might have been a better shout, but if Aguero had scored the penalty, I think we would have a very different response to Aguero sitting there right now. But anywho, I'm so glad I didn't go for United defenders. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he did okay, but I'm so glad I went for Greenwood instead. He paid off. I went for Captain Fernandes. If I had Captain Greenwood, it would have been the same thing. But I think a lot of us went for the safer Fernandes option. And the Liverpool boys really showed up as well. Phillips with his first ever assist, I think. So I'm glad to be a part of that. Salah did well, and Trent also did not disappoint. And Son and Nacho, honorable mentions. I have Dallas on the bench. I'm not too gutted because the Liverpool boys definitely made up for it. And we're not going to forget Martinez with his points up there as well. But yeah, it's an overall good game week. And I'm glad it went well.
Don't even remind me of those Leeds players on the bench. I just don't want to hear about it. Do not want to even look. I don't even want to scroll that far down. It just depresses me. But overall, a very good game week for you. No hits, no chips played as well, right?
No.
131, immense score there. Well done, Nitro. Joe, we're going to have a quick look at your team. Sorry, actually, before we get off your team, Nitro, what does that take you up to your overall rank?
So originally, I think I sat on a red arrow the previous game week because I think a lot of us had stinkers. I had a 300K rank, and now I am at 219K, which is my highest ever in my life. So I will cherish this moment. Hopefully we can go up further, but yeah. 219K.
Well, yeah, still about 3 game weeks to go to get that up and into maybe top 100. Might be a big ask, but you never know in FPL.
Yeah, you never know.
As Joe knows, Joe, we're going to come to your team now and take a look at 120 points. A -4, was it?
-8.
-8 here, and talk us through your selection.
Okay. Basically, I think I sort of did a summary of my transfers. So basically, I did Son to Bruno.
Yeah.
So that's a positive 12 points. And then after that, the funds to get Bruno, I sold Kane to DCL to fund for Bruno. So that worked out pretty well. Another positive 5 points there, including the hit. It's just the final transfer didn't really work out as I hoped. I did Lingard to Zaha.
Yeah.
So that was
a bit of a gamble, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, the signs were there. I remember watching the Palace versus City match, and Zaha, he's just anonymous. He moaned during the match, just being whiny, just being his usual self. But on the other side of the pitch, Eze and Benteke was actually threatening to City before they concede the 2 goals. So I remember quite clearly. Those were my eye tests. But we all had this impression that Zaha is the talisman of Palace. And end of the season vibes. Zaha trying to. I mean, year in year out, we get the same thing, same situation with Zaha trying to manufacture a move or whatever you will call that. So and playing against Southampton and Sheffield United, it was a little bit of a gamble. But in hindsight, the signs were there, so it didn't really work out at the end. Because I was asking I put a tweet saying can Eze actually cover Zaha? So most of the replies I get saying no, things like that. Zaha, this main guy, Palace, blah blah blah. Those kind of things. But yeah, I mean, it didn't work out in the end because I actually, besides Zaha, I was actually considering on Greenwood. But Greenwood being a blank on game week 36 puts me off. And I didn't expect him to start all 3 or at least 2, but he really turned out to be such a great transfer for those who had him. So yeah, Zaha is the only one didn't really work out, but I have to take whatever I can, and a shame because another sign was the benching of or the rotation of Rudiger. So I didn't want.
Squad, was he?
Sorry. Yeah.
Wasn't even in the squad.
Yeah, because I mean I sort of had a bad vibe before the deadline on doubling up on Villa defense. So that's why I put Rudiger up instead of Target. Chelsea wanting to go for the top 4. They probably wouldn't rotate much, especially in their defense. True enough, the game where Rudiger set out, they lost to Arsenal. And yeah, so I mean, yeah, and another one in hindsight, but I would probably say, I don't know. I mean, I guess I should be grateful with 120 points, but it just doesn't feel that way at the moment. So yeah. But
I think if you scroll on Twitter and you see everyone posting up their game week scores, I mean, like I just about got over 100, but I mean it's just red arrows for me, and so 100 point, I think everyone more or less comfortably hit. But as you said, you wake up, you get 120 points or 112 points or whatever it was in your case, and then you look at that and you think, well, I haven't really moved much, have I? and it's quite depressing. I know that feeling. Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, live FPL. I sort of had a look at live FPL. If I played Target instead of Rudiger, I would probably be almost a green arrow. So from here we can see actually the points are still really tight. I'm only about 39 points away from top 10K, which is actually not a lot. Not at all. Especially with the blank game week 36 coming, and almost everyone will be taking hits here and there. It's time to make ground.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, that leads us nicely into our blank game week 36. And guys, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to take your team off here, Joe. I'm going to ask you guys, I mean, we talked about the triple game week 35 and how everyone was kind of like loading on these assets, that were playing either doubles or triples. But, did they miss something here by loading onto that? They kind of sacrifice certain players who aren't actually playing in game week 36. It's something that you touched upon, Joe. I mean, whilst we're on you. I mean, we look around and we admire the guys that got ridiculous points. And you could argue maybe there was a lot of free hit chips used, which is what I probably would expect. If you are still holding it, it would have made sense to kind of play it then. But now, we come to a blank game week 36. And, we're seeing big players that aren't playing in this game week come out for other players. I mean, how many hits are you taking, or how many players are you transferring out and bringing in to cover your triple game week 35?
Initially, I only planned to -4 because I have 9 players going into game week 36. But my problem was Veltman. He was a dog in game week 35, and he is still a dog. So I had to take another hit to actually bring in the third player. So I'm actually on -8 at the moment. But I'm considering my options really carefully because like I said, top 10K is 39 points away. So I made a point to bring in players that has really high upside and really low ownership. So 2 of my players, out of the 3 players,
basically.
Yeah, I mean it's like even below 10%, single digit differential. 2 out of my 3 players have brought in a single digit differentials. So what I did was I brought in Bale. I sold Madison. I think Madison was one of my worst transfer that I can recall because instead of Bale on game week 34, I actually went for Madison on game week 34. So that.
But if you remember, if you just go back a little bit from that, I think there was a week where Gareth Bale did well, and then Spurs had a double, I think.
Yeah,
and everyone kind of like loaded up on Bale, and
then he just
or both matches or something like that. It was the worst transfer that I think I can imagine.
Yeah, and the worst thing was I think his price tanked like 0.3 in 3 days or 4 days. That's insane. But things are different now.
Why are you bringing him back? I mean, what makes you so confident he's going to play it?
I mean, okay. Firstly, if you look at his stats, I mean, in terms of FPL, I did a few digging. In a way, you can say I'm trying to justify myself, but I did a bit of digging. I saw this tweet by Fantasy Football Scout Community. He says, when on the pitch, Gareth Bale has been involved in 69% of Spurs' goals. So 69% if when it's on the pitch, that's really high. And I look back at his points, home games this season where he has started at home. Game week 26, he played against Burnley, 19 points. Game week 27, he played against Palace, 14 points. Game week 32, he played against Southampton, 9 points. And game week 34, he started at home against Sheffield United, 21 points. That was his hat trick. So, next two game weeks, game week 36 and game week 37 are two home games for Spurs. They're playing this coming game week, they're playing against Wolves, and next game week they're playing against Villa. And we gotta make. I mean, we gotta, consider a huge point that I actually sort of put it out there on Twitter, I think a few days ago, where game week 37 and game week 38 are both game weeks where fans are returning. Fans are returning to watch their teams at home. To me, that is a huge deal. Fans have been suffering throughout the whole season. They only get to watch them on TV, and now they get to be watching them live at home. And imagine watching Bale for the first time in Spurs shirt, playing at home.
Not for the first time, but for the first time this season.
First time this season. So that must be. I think that's a huge deal. If you ask me,
I get what you're saying. I mean, the fans definitely make an impact, whether it's to elevate the players' kind of ability, or to help your team do that much better. I get where you're coming from with that. So that's your thinking behind getting Gareth Bale in. You think he's a shoo-in for 36?
Yeah, I mean, he is a flat track bully. Gareth Bale, based on his stats. Another stat I saw when I watched the FPL show that was released, I think half an hour before we started. When Spurs at home, when all three of Kane, Son, and Bale started, Bale actually has almost twice the number of points of Kane and or Son. Bale is the one hogging all the points when all three of them starts at home so far this season. And Son, he becomes more like a creative player, creating chances instead of scoring. When all three started at home this season, Bale has 7 goals, Son only has 1 goal, and Kane only has 3 goals when all three started. So, I mean that could be nothing because it's all history, but that definitely points out.
That's how you're looking at it.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it, and I'm pretty confident he will start. Especially the next game, the home game, because that's probably the only chance fans get to watch Bale in Spurs jersey. It might be a nostalgic pick. I mean, it's definitely something historic for the fans. So that's probably why I chose Bale, and why I captained him, because I don't know, if I brought him in, I might as well go upside all the way.
Go all up.
Oh.
Okay, I mean, no, I get the thinking behind bringing Gareth Bale in and captaining him. I do. So you've got Gareth Bale in for Madison.
Yep, and I sold Luke Shaw for Dallas because Luke Shaw. Okay. I mean, as much as I love him as a player, as much as I'm happy to see him doing really well this season, creating chances. I think probably number 1 in Europe, that kind of stat. But his points are just not, it just doesn't translate to FPL points. It's just I don't know. I mean, I might be punished on game week 30, 37, but I'm going all out for Leeds because I think Leeds will finish the season well, and Burnley, they are without Nick Pope this game week. And I think, with Rafinha back as well, I think the whole team will be elevated to another level. So Dallas, I can see him finishing well this season.
Okay, so that's your 2, and you said you took a -8, right?
Yeah, and one more, I dropped Iheanacho. I dropped Iheanacho for Antonio because West Ham, they have good fixtures, and I think they are still trying to push for that European spot. If not top 4, at least the Europa League spot. And Antonio, being back from injury, he looked really dangerous last game. For me, Antonio, I brought him in. It's not really specifically for this game week, but for the rest of the season. So that's my third transfer.
Okay, big moves for Joe as we enter the final stretch for the season. Nitro, we're going to come over to you and check out your team for blank game week 36. Which players have you taken out from your team, and which players are you bringing in?
So I've already taken a -4, which means I've made 2 transfers. The first would be, I think it's going to hurt me. I feel it. But I took Bruno out for Mahrez to free up a bit of cash. Mahrez differential. I think you have Mahrez in your team as well, Craig. Just hoping he starts, and if he does, he's probably going to bag quite a few points. And then the second transfer was Iheanacho for DCL. I want to get in the Sheffield party. I want to get in on the points that are probably quite inevitable, so I want that as well. I think we're going to touch on this a little bit later, but I'm really scared of not owning the triple leads. I've got Dallas and Rafinha. I think Rafinha will do well, provided he starts, but I'm scared of Bamford because I think he's going to have a really fun time, and I'm just not going to be able to take part in that. But yeah, I didn't want to. Sorry, what was that?
No. So you don't want to take part of that. I look at your team, and you've got Vidra as your third striker. Any temptation to maybe change that to a Bamford?
Oh,
I know it's going to be a -8, but I mean, surely the temptation's there.
It's there. Trust me, it is there. And yeah, I'm also scared of the West Ham assets because To brings up a good point. They really are pushing for the European spot, and I'm scared of Lingard too. I'm scared of not having him. He could have been an easy swap instead of Mahrez, but I think I'm going to stick with Mahrez, the differential option. I'm just really scared of Bamford and Antonio.
Just touching on that, you've obviously brought in Calvert-Lewin. Who was that for again?
Iheanacho.
So you brought in Calvert-Lewin for Iheanacho. Was there, was there a point where you were looking at bringing in Antonio to cover that kind of West Ham, or the lack of West Ham in your team?
Yeah, it was between Antonio, Bamford, and DCL, and I think. Yeah. All over Twitter, you probably find so many polls asking, Antonio or Bamford or DCL. I went for DCL solely because of the Sheffield aspect. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be really sad if it isn't now, but I'm going to sticking with my gut. I'm going to back DCL as well.
Okay, so you reckon DCL outscores Antonio as well as Bamford?
Oh, I don't know, man. That's the thing I'm scared about.
Well, all I'm saying is
they're all really good options. And
all I'm going to say is that you've got 2.5 hours until the deadline.
I might take
you can take a -8.
Yeah.
But loads of time to discuss that. Maybe by the end of this show, you might change your mind and you might just
I might end up taking that hit after this.
but okay, so you've brought Iheanacho in, you brought Mahrez in, and you brought who was the other one? Sorry.
It was just 2. It was DCL.
Just 2, and then you might take the -4. Sorry.
I might take the -8. I've taken a -4.
Okay, you had one transfer. Sorry, my bad. I lost you. Okay, fantastic. And you said that obviously no Bruno there. Are you taking him out? That's another thing I want to ask you guys. I've seen exactly like you guys. I've seen all over Twitter. Bruno exiting. I think it's the last time I checked, there was 95,000 teams that had taken him out.
Wow.
Yeah, most transferred out player as of earlier today.
I think I mean, sorry, Craig. Personally, I think they'll regret it on game week 37.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Is it one of those transfers where you take him out now because he's got a blank, but you bring him straight back in for that Fulham match, and obviously till the end of the season?
The issue is it gets difficult because, like me, I've taken out for Bruno, but I'm starting to spread cash around my forward.
Correct.
So it's going to be difficult to bring him back in. I know it's going to hurt me. I can smell it. I can already smell it, man.
Yeah, because like what Nick said, most of the teams that brought Bruno out, they need the funds. So they're gonna have a hard time bringing him back. And like I said, game week 37, Man United is gonna play at home against Fulham. Yeah. So the home game advantage is huge. And another player that I'll probably tip to be on game week 37 is Cavani. Fans gonna watch him play for the first time ever, and they're gonna have a field time. So
I mean, Fulham already relegated as well. Nothing to play for.
Yeah,
exactly.
But, you could argue the same thing with United, with maybe one eye on that Europa League final, and players maybe not giving it their all or busting a gut to kind of get in there. But that's another thing. If you were to bring Bruno back in for 37, I mean, what's the likelihood he plays in 38? Because 4 days later, you got a final, a big final for Man United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Do you bring him just for that one game week and risk it?
I mean, that's a good point, but like for me, I'm keeping solely mainly for game week 37, and who knows? I might sell him on game week 38 for somebody who plays at home.
Yeah. Okay.
So
interesting stuff. So Bruno obviously out for you, Nick. And the Calvert-Lewin, that third striker option is still yet to be decided. I'm going to say, because I'm going to come and check you back before the show finishes, and we'll just see how tempted you are to pull the trigger on a -8. So great stuff there, guys. Blank game week 36. Those are the players you're taking out of your team, and obviously those are the players that you're bringing in to replace them to cover that blank. We're going to have one eye until the end of the season now. And we've got 3 games left, 36, 37, 38. A lot of transfers that you bring in now are you're kind of looking towards those next 3 games to kind of save you another transfer. But how does it look for you, especially with the blanks that are going on? I'm just going to stick it out there, what I see. And I see the fear of rotation from City with the Champions League final in mind. I see the same with Chelsea they've got a final this week, but they've got the Champions League final as well to worry about. You've got United with the Europa League final. And then you're kind of like looking down there and you're thinking, well, should I go all in with your Liverpool assets, your Leeds assets, your teams that have something to play for, West Ham, where you're going to get a strong side out from the managers. There's not going to be much rotation, and the players obviously have something to play for, so they need to kind of go all out.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Personally, my strategy, I'm going to look at, like I mentioned before. I mean, this is just my strategy. I'm not sure whether any other managers put as much emphasis on the home games in the last two game weeks as me, but what I'll do is, teams like City, teams like probably Man United, Chelsea, like you mentioned, Craig, they have an eye on the Champions League, they have an eye on the Europa League, so I would expect quite a fair bit of rotation especially on game week 38. So, you know, I would probably go.
So my question is: do you target that kind of mid-tier, not mid, but your fourth place and below kind of teams that don't have an eye on trophy finals and winning trophies and stuff, but qualification into certain competitions and just trying to get finish ahead of their rivals, something to play for.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Liverpool has a great deal to play for. All three games are a must win for them. They don't have any other commitments, so they can go, full strength week in, week out for the last 3 game weeks. I don't see them rotating much. If you get what I mean. Another team is Spurs. I think they will also go full on. I mean, they just don't think about how many points they can get. They just try to get maximum points. Another one is
with Spurs, they just need to finish above Arsenal, really, isn't it? I mean, imagine that Arsenal with possibly one of their worst seasons in the Premier League, and they end up finishing higher than Spurs. I mean, it would be the worst.
Oh yeah. If Spurs can't even do that, I think they'll probably be all the players will probably leave at the end of the season.
But if they haven't made that decision already.
Yeah, I mean, like teams like Spurs, Liverpool, Everton, West Ham. These are the teams that have, I think, something to play for. Leeds, I can't see them resting. As in like putting their guard down or team. I can't imagine Leeds as a team that is on the beach.
I don't think Bielsa would allow it.
Yeah, exactly. I have an impression Bielsa would probably, whip them up, to go all full steam. Especially, Craig, I would like to say this again, especially on game week 38, where Leeds is playing at home against West Brom.
Yeah.
First time.
Road. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fans get to see Leeds playing in the Premier League at Ellen Road, so that's a huge deal. And playing against West Brom, I think West Brom, I don't know, maybe they're probably giving some fringe players some game time before they go back to the Championship. So I can see Leeds putting on full strength on game week 38. So Leeds is another team that at least double up, if not triple up. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, Nigel, we're going to come to you, and we're just going to, get that off. We're just going to talk about, obviously, the teams that Joe mentioned, but let's get into the players. We mentioned the likes of Liverpool, Leeds, Everton, West Ham. But, I mean, who would you be looking at personally? We touched on your team earlier. You had a tough choice between Bamford, Antonio, DCL. You ended up going with DCL. But there's so many other positions like in midfield, and with Rafinha coming back for Leeds, that's a major plus. I know you have him in your team. But is there anyone we're missing out? Even Arsenal, for that matter. With Smith Rowe, maybe. I mean, Smith Rowe 2 goals. In the double game week. Could he be an option?
That's true, yeah. And Smith Rowe, at his price, he's delivering amazing value. I think I was involved in a little discussion about Saka and Emil Smith Rowe. And I would definitely go for Smith Rowe just as the value. And also, recently, Saka has been deployed as a left back. Personally, I think we've covered this quite a lot, but I have I'm an Arsenal fan, but I don't have the confidence in being in Arsenal assets into your FPL teams. Personally, for me, I would boil it down to Leeds, Liverpool, and West Ham assets. You can see from my team, I've already loaded up on Liverpool. So the likes of Trent, Salah, I think a lot of us have those two already. I've got Phillips. He's a nice little differential. But Mane, Jota, those are some guys you might want to hang on to as well. For Leeds, I think it's the trio, Dallas, Rafinha and Bamford. Those guys are the ones we really want to be looking at. Dallas plays the midfield. He's so fun to watch play in the midfield, and he gets the clean sheets every now and then. And with those fixtures, Burnley, Southampton, and West Brom, I think a clean sheet is guaranteed in at least one or two of them. So we'll be looking at those three, the triple. And finally, West Ham, since they're going to be fighting with Liverpool for that European spot, they're facing Brighton, who won't be having Dunk. It'll be interesting to see how Brighton face that game. West Brom and Southampton, pretty hopefully easy games. So the likes of Lingard, Antonio, the defense I would stay away from personally. But if you do have a defense, maybe the likes of Soufal would be a nice asset to keep. He's also very cheap. But I would definitely look towards like a Bowen, like a Lingard and an Antonio for the attack.
Well, Bowen's a bit interesting.
Yeah.
Bowen's a bit interesting because now Antonio's back. You know, his place in the side is a bit iffy and 50-50 to say the least. But some great shouts there. Obviously, Lingard is someone that most I think would be looking at. So that's it, guys out there. Those are the players we should be looking at. Those are the teams we should be looking at for the next 3 game weeks as we come towards the end of the 2021 season. Okay, boys, now this is where you guys get paid the big bucks. It's captaincy options. And I think this week, you know, you've got about 3 decent options where, you know, you can easily give the armband to any one of those 3 and you'd probably expect them to bang and return for you. But the 3 that I'm gonna narrow it down for you guys, and if you guys have a differential to that, then obviously you're more than welcome to make that suggestion. But for me, off the top of it, I see obviously Mo Salah. I think, you know, playing West Brom. You got Harry Kane versus Wolves. I think, you know, that possibly, as you mentioned, Spurs playing at home could be massive for them. And the third one being DCL at Sheffield United. Yeah. And obviously he's from Sheffield United, isn't he? He came to Everton from Sheffield United, so maybe with a little bit of a point to prove. And we know how ex-players do at their old clubs. But I think I've narrowed down to those 3. I mean, is there anyone else that springs to mind?
Okay. Personally,
I know you've gone with Bale. Sorry, Joe. I know you've gone with Bale. Not one of those 3, but
I mean, yeah. Although I went with Bale, but you know, I mean, generally, I think you mentioned Liverpool, Spurs, and Everton. These 3 teams, and I think, you know, with Bruno not playing, you know, likes of Iheanacho and Vardy and Chelsea players not playing. So, you know, this is a good opportunity to go for a differential captain. You know, personally, I feel the captaincy is going to be wide open. It's going to be spread out. I probably can't see any player being above 100% EO. If you ask me, not even Mo Salah, you know, because I think the last I checked, Mo Salah is only about 37% old.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm checking that now for you.
Yep. Let me just look.
What's he got? Yeah, 37.
Yep. 37, 38. So I can't see any player being above 100% EO. So this is a great opportunity to go for somebody different if you have in your team. One popular differential captain I saw, or I'm looking in Twitter, is Riyad Mahrez. You know, City. I mean, Riyad Mahrez was I think was rested, if I'm not mistaken.
I think the last 2 games or something like that.
Yeah. And he, I think he is on his best form in his City career at the moment. He's really, you know, week in, week out, he's doing well. Whenever he starts in the Premier League, he also did well. I think he's probably the first 11 in the Champions League, and he did well as well. He scores. I think he scored like a brace, if I'm not mistaken, in the first leg. And he also scored, I think, in the second leg as well. So Mahrez is a good captaincy option if you don't mind him being benched. Probably. I mean, if you don't mind him being benched, yeah. I mean, if you don't mind him being benched, probably in the game week 37 or even 38. Because definitely Pep would want to rest or preserve his best players for the final. But I can see him probably starting against Newcastle. But Newcastle, they are no slouch either. They have been doing pretty well the last few games. Even earned Steve Bruce the Manager of the Month award. Although they are technically safe, but I think they'll put up a good fight at home against City. And at the same time, City are already crowned champions. So it's not exactly a must win for them. But definitely it's a game where they want to build confidence. I think because they haven't been doing well in the domestic league, and they will probably want to build momentum and confidence before the final. So Mahrez is a good differential captaincy pick if you ask me for this week.
Nitro, we're going to come to you now, and obviously the three players I highlighted. Are you looking within those three, or are you looking outside?
It's funny because I spent the last couple of hours before this stream, I was switching the vice captain and captain's armband between Salah and Mahrez. If you look at my team, it's still on Salah. It could very well change to Mahrez. It's just, I don't know. There's a feeling inside me. When you play FPL, part of it is the gut feeling. I can't explain it. I wish I could, but I'm just switching between those two. I have a question to ask both of you. I spoke to Sam and Sweng earlier about Salah. I think Salah is going to be a very popular captain pick. However, if you look at his last recent minutes in the last few matches, he was benched against Leeds in 32. There seems to be this slight recurring pattern where he plays 90 for quite a few matches and then he gets rested. And it's not a lot of time between the last fixture they played against United, and he played the full game, and now he's back on for West Brom. Part of the factor is also he and Kane are chasing the Golden Boot, and Liverpool have a lot to play for, so maybe there might be an incentive.
I was just going to say the Golden Boot could be a factor. But then when I look at it, and Mane obviously missed out last night in the starting 11, but you look at the front three, they all returned. They all got the goals. Firmino 2, Jota 1, could have had 2, and Salah rounding it up. So you're looking at, if you own Mane, you're looking at that situation and you're thinking, well, if I'm Jurgen Klopp, am I going to take one of these out after scoring in the last match?
That's true.
Or am I going to play them? And I don't think there's ever any doubt in Salah not starting. I think he starts 99% of the games that Liverpool play in the league, especially with a lot riding on it now. Now they're in a good position to really, get into that fourth place. Unless they go like 3-4-0 up, then you can see, Klopp bringing him off. And by that time, you would have kind of hoped that Salah would have been involved.
He's involved in something, yeah.
What do you think, Joe?
I agree with you, Craig. I think Salah, he is slowly turning up. In terms of his momentum and his form. And yes, Golden Boot, I think for him is a personal motivation. But I think, more importantly, he wants to score and he wants to help Liverpool. Especially, if you see the goal that he scored against United, the way he celebrated that goal,
it meant a lot.
Yeah, it meant a lot to him. At the same time, with Mane is another extreme. He talked to the press that he is currently having his worst ever season in his career.
Correct.
He was I think he was Klopp mentioned just now in the press where him being rested is actually a last minute decision in training. So Mane probably, I don't know, the way he reacted to Klopp at the end of the match. If you have seen the video, doesn't look good. Yeah, I mean, when he didn't even want to shake the hand. Right? You know, he just pushed it away. I don't know. I mean, Klopp says he's going to speak to Mane and things like that. I don't know. I mean, but personally, I think all four is going to start again. All four is going to start, including Mane. But,
together.
I think so. I mean, Mane.
And we've seen it. We've seen it before. We've seen it happen. It's
yeah.
You know, Firmino or Jota kind of drops into that kind of hole, but then you're sacrificing a midfield player to do that, whether it's Wijnaldum or Wijnaldum. Oh wait, I don't think they'll drop Fabinho. They'll be Wijnaldum or who else?
Thiago.
Henderson's out. Thiago's the other one. Sorry.
But I mean, I can see West Brom digging. They will be digging deep into this and relying on countering and things like that. I would probably see Klopp putting up his most attacking team, you know, to just siege West Brom. But I don't know.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Before we close this captaincy option segment up, I'm going to ask you guys one more time to pick your captain of the week for game week 36.
If the thing is right, Salah is safe because I know if he plays, I can't see him not get involved in the action. It's just so hard to imagine. But Mahrez would be the thrill, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mahrez is the thrill.
Definitely. And well, it's a thrill for about the 2 hours in the early hours of the morning later today.
It is also the first game. Yeah, the first game.
And then if he blanks, then you're gonna have a torrid weekend. That's
definitely.
But there is that risk. So you're going for Mahrez, yeah?
I think it's still on Salah. It's still on Salah for now.
Still on Salah for you. And Joe, if you had to pick one.
I mean, I'm currently on Bale. I'm definitely sticking to Bale. But you know, if you have Salah and you're probably not chasing rank and things like that, you know, you should go for Salah. If not, you know, if you have Trent, I think Trent is actually not a bad shot.
He was quality last night, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think he still has a point to prove. You know, he still has a point to prove to Southgate.
I would counter that and say yesterday, Gareth Southgate was in the stands, and he saw that performance, and straight away I would be saying that's sorted. You know, my right back position is kind of sorted. If there was any doubt, I think Trent was always going to go, but I think he had a bit of competition with a few others like Trippier and Walker and Reece James maybe. But I think after yesterday's performance, and I think the last few game weeks, I think Trent's improved a lot since the Real Madrid match. So yeah, I think that definitely for me. I mean, if I was England manager and I was watching that live, I mean, what a performance that was, to be honest with you. So I think he would play.
Yeah, I would think Trent is another good captaincy option if you would want to keep it within Liverpool. So you know, he's definitely someone that you should or we should consider captaining. So
Salah or Trent for you, and obviously Salah or Mahrez for you, Nitro. Guys, if you still haven't set your captain yet, there's still plenty of time to have a little play around with it. We have just around 2 hours, just over 2 hours till the deadline. So you can have a bit of a tinker, listen to what the guys have to say. And obviously we've got questions from the community coming up in just a bit. So I'm sure there'll be a few of you out there still wondering who to captain. The boys will do their best to answer that. But that is their choice. They reckon Salah should be a certainty for the armband with differential options in Mahrez and Trent, if you're feeling it. Okay, question from the community. And this is the time when you guys key in your questions, which are on the side. We'll have a browse through it. We'll answer as many questions as we can. although if we have mentioned it during the show, or if there are questions that have been posted of a similar nature, then we'll kind of just refer it back to you. But the first one is from Patrick. Patrick says, do you think Coleman starts for Everton?
I think Coleman starts. I think he has been doing well for the team. Everton keeping back-to-back clean sheets, and Coleman, I think he was. I mean, he was playing at the right, almost at the right wing back position. So I would say Coleman is pretty nailed as you can be in the Everton team.
Yeah, I also saw something. I don't remember where, but it was something where Sheffield conceded a lot of big chances on the left, which would mean Coleman's wing on the right.
Yeah.
So he would, if he's nailed, which I also agree, he's probably quite nailed. He'd be a very good differential defender to have in your team.
Okay. On to the next one. Dean messages in. He asks, Benjamin Mendy, Rafinha, or Dallas and Foden? And then he goes, he's got a second part of that question, Dallas or Aurier. But we'll go with the first one first. So it's basically Benjamin Mendy plus Rafinha or Dallas plus Foden. Mendy, that's one I haven't seen a lot of, to be fair. That is a major risk, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I'm not sure whether he's on a free hit. If it's on a free hit, then probably probably the first option. Oh no, probably I don't know. Both.
What about Rafinha and Dallas? Is that an option that leads double?
Well, I mean, I don't really understand. Okay, so sorry, it's Benjamin Mendy and Rafinha or Dallas and Foden. Sorry, I read that completely.
Yeah,
wrong.
I mean, obviously Dean wants a combination of a Man City player and a Leeds player. But an issue with Rafinha is, I think Bielsa mentioned. I mean, he didn't specifically mention Rafinha. He mentioned the players that got back from injury. He wouldn't directly. I mean, straight put them in the starting lineup.
In the deep end.
Yeah, that's what he mentioned. I think he mentioned in the lineup wouldn't do them justice. I think if they don't recover 100% and put them in the deep end. But if you ask me, I think when Rafinha came on from the bench, he looked good. He doesn't look like a player that is still bogged down by injury. So although there are some certain doubt in whether Rafinha starts or not, I still think he would be starting. So Mendy, I don't know. Mendy probably if he starts, probably is like 1 out of 3 or at most 2 out of 3 games. But if you compare with Foden, I think Foden, he is a very important player for Pep, especially in the Champions League. So Pep would probably want to preserve him, but also give him game time at the same time. I don't know. Both Mendy and Foden, I can probably see them starting at most 2 games, if not 1.
Out of the 3.
Yeah,
okay.
Out of 3. So it's comparing either Rafinha or Dallas. So Dallas.
Well, there's a second part to this, like I showed just now, and it was Dallas or Aurier. That was.
It would be Dallas. It would be.
Yeah, definitely between
Definitely
Dallas and Aurier, definitely Dallas.
No brainer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So just to close up this question, you've got Mendy and Rafinha or Dallas and Foden. Are you going for A or B, Joe?
If you ask me, I'll go for Dallas and Foden.
Dallas and Foden. Nick?
Dallas and Foden. I was just gonna say, I think this is kind of contradictory, but Dallas is nailed. If you have any concern about Rafinha, and then Foden, he could start against Newcastle. That's the thing, and if he does, I think he's gonna bag. He's gonna bag quite a bit. Yeah.
So you go with Dallas and Foden, yeah?
Dallas and Foden, but if you can, Leeds double up, Rafinha and Dallas.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Why not?
Yeah.
Mohammed Azik asks, who do I captain between Trent, Digne, Son, Mahrez, Salah, Kane, and DCL? Jeez, talk about narrowing it down or not. Yeah, I mean, okay, we talked about Trent. Joe, you mentioned him earlier. You said it'll be a fantastic differential. We've not mentioned Digne. We've not mentioned Son. Yeah, Digne and Son are the two that we haven't mentioned. Should we stay away from them and take them out of the equation?
I think like I mentioned, if previously, I'm talking about Son right now. If when Son, Kane, and Bale starts, Son is more of a creator of chances instead of being more on the goal threat himself. So, I mean, I'll probably leave Son out of the equation. I mean, this is similar to what I had, in my team. I had Trent, I had Salah, I had DCL, I had Bale, and I had no idea who to captain. So basically, what I did was I cut a few papers, wrote their names, and asked my daughter to pick for me.
And it's come to that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, captaincy in this game week is wide open.
Yeah.
So Digne, I don't know, against Sheffield United, he's a good shot. Like I said, Everton kept back-to-back clean sheets. Although Digne didn't exactly had an assist, I think, if I'm not mistaken, but he had bonus points. So he is a good shot as well, but I think the upside is bigger for Trent. Bigger upside.
Set pieces and everything.
Yeah, set pieces, goal threat, free kicks, direct free kicks, and you have players with the likes of Bobby Firmino, Salah, Jota, and even Mane, to finish what he started. So I think probably Son and Digne I would remove out of the equation, and then the rest, cut a few pieces of paper and ask someone to pick for you.
Nitro, we're going to come to you, and obviously you mentioned you're still in the dilemma between Mahrez and Salah, but does anyone else kind of scream out to you from the options that Hazik's given?
Yeah, you mentioned this earlier, Craig, in our captaincy discussion. DCL, we didn't really talk about him as much. I think for me, if I were to narrow it down, it would be Mahrez, Salah, and DCL, in the order of Salah, Mahrez, and DCL in that preference, with Salah being the top. Salah is, if you're ever in doubt, just captain Salah. Don't overthink. Yeah. Mahrez is the thrill differential. He has, he's very explosive when he gets involved. DCL, though, is one we didn't really touch on. And I think he could be a really good shout as well. If you watched the two fixtures he had in the double game week, West Ham and Villa, he played pretty all right. And there probably is something out there on Twitter about his numbers, his underlying stats, and he's really good. He passed the eye test. He's always in the box. He's good in the air. And with Digne there, he's probably going to be looking for Digne to feed him some crosses and all the players around him to support him. I have a personal vendetta with captaining defenders, despite the two options being pretty okay. So that's probably why I've gone for Mahrez, Salah, and DCL. But I would narrow it down to Salah, Mahrez, and DCL.
Okay, it's great stuff there. We're going to go to the next question. First of all, hi to everyone that has joined the stream. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. For me personally, it's great to be back. Been away for a couple of weeks, but great to be back and chatting with all of you out there. Edwin says, "Hey, hi Joe Wick." Yeah,
because he's a hitman. He's a hitman.
Got that. Nice one, Edwin. Hazik goes, he follows up with another question. If you sell Bruno and short of cash, you can bring in Greenwood. Now that's a shout. I mean, Greenwood, as we mentioned earlier, did fantastic in this triple game week. Really good returns for the price that he's at. So if you had both Bruno and Greenwood, what a week you would have had. Our good friend Astralicious is here joining the stream. How are you, Astralicious? Thanks for watching as always. He asks, how many hits are okay for a blank game week? Especially, I'm asking Joe, the hitman. Joe, blank game week, what's good in terms of hits? How many should we be taking?
I think the most in a blank game week, I think the most is -8. Whereas in a double game week where many teams are having doubles, I think you can go up to -12 without an issue. As we saw game week 35, we see some monster scores, like teams with 150, 160, even with -12. It's insane. So the upside of hits on the double game week is much higher than a blank game week. That being said, in a blank game week, you don't just look at the game week itself. You probably don't expect hits to pay off at that game week itself, which is why you should actually look at 37 and 38 as well when you're bringing in your players. Which is why I brought in players like from Spurs, players from Leeds, players from West Ham, because I'm actually looking at all 3 game weeks instead of just one. So which is why I think blank game weeks, the way you look at hits for blank game weeks, it should be different from double game weeks. So yeah, I think -8 is probably the most for a blank game week, if you ask me. Especially with only three game weeks left.
Okay, -8 it is. Vincent sadly can't join the show in time. He's on the way home, but he's asking, is Greenwood or Iheanacho to bail Bamford with a -4 a good move?
It's not a bad move. Not a bad move, but I don't know if he can answer this, but does he have any other United players left? I would assume maybe a Bruno, right?
I'm not too sure if he's still watching. Vincent, you can answer that for Nick.
I think
you have any other United players.
I think he mentioned at a subsequent comment at the bottom. He mentioned he mentioned Bruno. So I would think that he has Bruno. If you look at 11:28 p.m., he says Bruno and Greenwood. Yeah, this one.
Bruno and Greenwood to 2 of Bale, Son, or Mahrez, or Greenwood and Iheanacho to Bale or Bamford. Okay, now it's a little bit clearer for us. What would you guys be doing here? Bear in mind, obviously, United have Fulham in 37, obviously missing the 36. But what's the upside here? I mean, who would you guys be going for?
I think Nick made a good point. Whether do you have any other United assets? And since he has Bruno, I would probably incline to keep one. Like I mentioned, the game week 37 home game against Fulham. I think that is something that we should be targeting as well. So I would probably lean more onto the second option, Greenwood, and Iheanacho to Bale or Bamford. Whether Bale or Son or Mahrez, I don't know. It's up to Vincent.
Could be any one of them.
Yeah, it could be any one of them. But I probably incline to removing Iheanacho instead of Bruno.
Yeah, I would back the second option too. That was a very important question because it makes 37 a lot easier if you have at least one of those big 2 United assets. But yeah, second option looks better.
Second option for you. He did go on to say, Nick, you legend, how's it going? Joe, you legend, good to see you back. Craig, haven't seen you for weeks. Great to have you hosting again. It's great to be back. I'm enjoying it as always, especially when you have good guys like yourself posing challenging questions to these guys. I like seeing them squirm in their seats a little bit. So always a bit fun. Sheila says, Danny Ings, don't overlook him, playing for a potential move. And she's got a point.
Yes,
got a point.
Danny Ings is someone we have not looked at all. And Southampton's fixtures towards the end of the season aren't terrible, are they?
Yeah, it's Fulham this week, and Fulham are confirmed relegated.
West Ham after.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Are we overlooking Danny Ings?
I'm not excited to bring him in. I'm not like what's the word? Desperate. I'm not desperate to bring him in. There are definitely some better options out there, like a Bamford, like an Antonio. But yeah, don't overlook him. If you haven't, don't overlook him.
Joe?
I mean, I think like Nick mentioned, I don't know. Southampton probably nothing much to play for, but yeah, Danny Ings would. I mean, he is definitely Southampton's most important player right now. Whether will he move on, I'm not sure. But if you have Ings, definitely keep him. But he's a good differential to have as well. They are playing Fulham, and then they are playing Leeds after that. And the final game week they're playing West Ham. So he's currently 7% owned, which is a very good, looks good in terms of differential. But there are other. I probably think there are other better options this week, like players like DCL, Bamford. You have Kane as well. You have Antonio, and these players, they have fairly good fixtures. This week and next week, and some even the final week. So, sport for choice, to be honest. Yeah, sport for choice. But if you are trying to go for as many differentials as you can, why not?
Okay. So Danny Ings, if you have him in your team, don't take him out. Don't take him out. As tempting as Bamford and Antonio are, keep Danny Ings because he is also a man on form, and his fixtures look pretty good. FPL Swang says, "Hey everyone, currently on a -4. Should I bring Godfrey or Stones? Only have 2 playing defenders this week." Swang is obviously one of our pundits on the show as well, our experts. Yeah, boys, can you help Swing out? Should he bring in Godfrey or Stones? Stones, obviously, I think he's just finished serving his 3-match suspension for City, so he's back into the squad. But Godfrey's a sure starter, isn't he? Compared to that possible rotation risk in Stones.
Yeah, I think Godfrey looks a little bit better, and is he cheaper, if I'm not mistaken? I don't know this price. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries, man. Let me just get a check now, and just see where he is.
He's at 5, and I think Stones
Godfrey's
is
at 5. Yeah, Stones is maybe about 5.1, maybe.
Yeah,
so
he's
very similar.
Cheaper by 0.1.
Yeah.
He got an assist during the double game week. Is that correct?
Yeah, for Calvert Lewin.
Yeah,
so huge monster score.
Huge score.
18 points in the double game week. I think Godfrey is definitely nailed. And they're playing Sheffield United. So, and then after they're playing at home again, stressing the home game. They're playing at home against Wolves at game week 37. So I would probably see Godfrey starting them all, but do I see Stones starting them all? Maybe, maybe not. Basically the whole City team is like a landmine. So and you're going to bring in with a hit. You would probably, like I say, a hit on a blank game week. You should look at all 3 fixtures. So I think personally, I will bring in Godfrey instead of Stones.
I would go with Godfrey as well.
Okay, both of the boys are going with Ben Godfrey.
Sorry, Craig. Just to tell Swing, why not go for Coleman?
Yeah. Maybe he has Coleman.
I did see. I think it was Edwin who said something about Coleman. Let me just get it up if I can find it.
We did. He
said
the next one.
Coleman captained the team yesterday. Maybe won't last 90 minutes. In the next
I think Craig, just the next one after Swing's comment.
Okay, sorry. Let me go down.
11:06.
Yeah, and he did suggest, how about Digne or Coleman? Digne is much more expensive, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
6.2.
Might be. I think a bit too pricey for swing.
But Coleman is cheaper.
Coleman is cheaper, so that's a real possibility there. That Swain can look at. All right, talking about differentials for this week. I mean, we did say it was open, but what about Chris Wood for differential captain?
Ooh.
Is that too differential?
I mean,
Maybe.
maybe.
I mean, when's the last time? Let's be honest. When's the last time anyone captained a Burnley player? Let's be honest. I don't think I've ever done it in FPL. I could be wrong. I can't remember ever doing it.
I think people captain Pope in the double game week.
In the double game week,
people captain Lawton.
I mean, I'm sure you get one or two, but I mean, I personally can't remember ever captaining a Burnley player. I could be wrong, but it just doesn't spring to mind for me. But Chris Wood for differential captain for this game week. What are you boys saying?
I think he's actually, hear me out. He's playing. He's probably in his form of his career in Burnley. I think he has been scoring like 5 goals in the last 3 games, including the hat trick. Leeds, technically, they are known to be susceptible to set pieces, and Wood, he's on penalties. He has a great header. I don't know. I don't see why not. Like I said, captaincies are opening up wide in this game week. So if you have a gut feel or a differential that you want to go for, just go for it.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree because Wait, sorry, what was that?
Would you agree with that?
I agree with so. Yeah, he's in amazing form, and I have Dallas in my team, so I want Leeds to keep a clean sheet. I just can't see it. I at least see a goal from Wood. I think, I don't know the actual goal involvement percentage, but if Burnley were to score a goal, I think Wood would be most likely involved one way or another. Yeah.
And Leeds is his ex-team as well. So going back on what I said earlier on in the show, players always turning up against their old teams, which is always good. Interesting stat from Sheila, though. Trent has outscored Salah in the last 5.
Ooh.
I mean, I didn't know that. I didn't see that, but I know a lot of people jumped onto that Trent bandwagon quite a few game weeks ago, and surely they're reaping in the rewards for that. Devindra asks, Devindra says rather, a club on Mane. If somebody shows me five times respect and 1 time not, what is more important? I hope for you that your boss. I think he's just made that one up.
No, I mean this. I think.
Did he actually say that?
Yeah.
I think he did. Yeah.
He did because I think the media is probably focusing on.
I think it's overplayed, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, how I saw it is, I think every player. I mean, especially with it being a Liverpool versus Man United match, and you're one of the key players for Liverpool. If you don't play that match, you don't start that match, you'd be fairly disappointed.
I think basically the British media is trying to jump on Mane, and Klopp is actually protecting him in the press conference. But I think one of the journalists asked Klopp whether does Mane start against West Brom, and Klopp didn't give a definite answer. Klopp says, "I'm going to talk to Mane, and then we've got to sort things out and things like that." So. And then after that, I think he also subsequently dropped this line. So he's protecting Mane. I think Mane is under a lot of pressure and scrutiny lately, especially after he revealed, that he's having his worst season in his career. And, rumors start spreading and things like that.
Yeah.
So Klopp is protecting Mane like every decent manager does to his players. So, yeah.
Okay. Well said, Joe. Devindra says, Veltman, Bruno, Nacho for -4. Option 1, Coleman. Bale, Kane. Option 2, Digne, Bale or Son, and Bamford. Option 3, Digne, Foden, Kane. Option 4, Digne, Mahrez, Bamford. And he's obviously taken out Veltman, Bruno, and Iheanacho. Which option would you go for? You got 4 pretty tough options there that Devendra has given us. He's obviously taking that -4. Yeah, go on, boys. Which option and why?
I like the look of 2 and 4. The ones that both have Digne and Bamford, but then the middle midfielder is just up for grabs.
Yeah, it could be either one of those 3, right?
It could be, yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
I
mean, I just look at you guys, both of your teams, and obviously Joe's gone with Bale, you've gone with Mahrez, and that's that in a nutshell, really, isn't it? I mean, that's how much of a coin toss that kind of midfield position is right now when looking at it.
I mean, while looking at this question, I'm on the exact same wavelength as Nick. I'm looking at option 2 and 4 as well. I think Bamford for the run-in is good to have, because like you see the other options, having both Bale and Kane, option 1, actually is not too bad if you ask me. But I don't know. I personally think Kane. I mean, you have other cheaper strikers that have good fixtures. And Kane's price could probably cover 2 of those strikers. Yeah. So whether will he do better than 2 of those strikers? I can't say. I mean, yes, he is explosive, but Antonio is explosive as well. Bamford is explosive as well. DCL is explosive as well. So personally, I think all these strikers can match Kane in his output, especially. I don't know. This might be a moment of precedes unfortunate events when Kane scores 4 goals against Wolves. I don't know, but personally, I think the other strikers can match Kane especially this game week.
Okay, so 2 and 4 for both of you, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave it at that, and we'll let Devendra kind of go back and flip a coin and see who he's gonna pick between those midfield options. Prayag asks, is Mahrez a certainty to start? Now, this is something that we always get asked, and look, we don't work for City, we don't work for Pep, we'll never know for certain. But in terms of percentages, if we were to put it into percentages, how likely is Mahrez to start versus Newcastle?
Probably more likely than usual because he was rested for the last 2 against Palace and Chelsea. The last game, yeah, Chelsea. As an owner, I would sure hope he does. Yeah, I can't give a percentage. I don't know. Maybe 60? 65?
60. Okay. 60
doesn't
to
sound
65.
Not a lot of conviction in that percentage.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was expecting more of an 80, 85. But Joe, I'm expecting to go a little bit higher here.
I mean, nobody is certain to start in City. Who knows? Edison might even get rested. I think I read a tweet where, I mean, no, it's not a tweet. It's an article of a predicted lineups. And I don't know. Some say Edison might even get rested and things like that. So nobody is certain to start in City. But Mahrez, I mean, talking about the most certain players, probably Mahrez is close to the top. So as nailed as a City player can be.
as nailed as a
Hopefully.
City player can be, you would say.
Let me put a disclaimer for game week 36.
That's important.
I would say this. I did see a tweet, obviously on Twitter, and it's from Emma, who goes with the handle @JumpTheWave, and they have a predicted lineup using stats and numbers and all this. And if I put it into a percentage, if I look at this, it says 76.9% certainty that Mahrez starts.
Well, it's better than my percentage. I will take that.
I'll take that. I'll take over that 60% for sure. Okay, moving on, boys. Sheila, Iheanacho to Antonio for -4, or Cody to Dallas, also for -4. Worth it to avoid fielding Cody versus Spurs. Now, clearly fearful of that Spurs attack. But which one would you go with? Changing that front line, or getting Cody out of that team and putting Dallas, who obviously plays in midfield for Leeds?
I think
just to clarify, she's asking, she's gonna do either of them, right?
Either.
Or is she gonna do both?
Either.
She's going to do either.
Oh, either. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for me, it really depends on how many players you have in your starting lineup and whether you have any bench. If you don't have any bench players, I would probably prefer to keep Cody on the bench. At least, he has a game. So which means I would go for the first option of Iheanacho to Antonio. So at least at least you have a first sub in case somebody doesn't play.
And Nick, would you second that?
As much as I love Dallas, I would also back the attacker. I think the upside is definitely there. And so it brings up a really good point. Cody has a fixture, Iheanacho doesn't. So there's more incentive to keep Cody and then make that change to Antonio.
Okay, easy one for the boys. Iheanacho to Antonio is the move that you should make, Sheila. FPL Carletto. And now this is perfect for you guys. Because Joe, you've obviously picked Bale. And Nick, you've obviously picked Mahrez. Find it out, boys. I'm just going to leave it and sit back.
They're both very good options. Let's put that out there now.
Let me search for my coin.
I was just going to say, we've actually covered this quite a bit during this show, and I think the general consensus is that both could be equally as explosive. Bale has out of the world stats for this, and Mahrez, if he starts, also has that. I think the rotation risk is slightly more with Mahrez than it would be Bale, but the fixture for Mahrez, you could argue, is probably better than Bale. So a lot of things to consider. I think what we've decided that is it's going to be a flip of the coin kind of decision, isn't it? It could go either way. Yep. So we'll move on. We've covered that enough. Joseph Yo, nice of you to come on. Also known as the Baby Wales, he's asking, should I captain Richarlison? Now, I'm lucky I'm not asking Mariner this question because he'd probably chuck his PC off his condo. But Richarlison, we've talked a lot about DCL without any mention of Richarlison. Should it stay that way? Should we be looking at only DCL in that striking option, or does Richarlison come to play?
He's not a bad option, I think. Nice differential as well.
I mean,
in terms of productivity, in terms of returns, I mean, he hasn't really quite done it, has he?
That's also true. That's why I would back DCL a little bit more.
He only has one double-digit haul in the season so far, and that's game week 30. That's game week 2. Not even 30. Game week 2. That's wrong. I mean. Okay, we can probably laugh it off, and who knows, he might score a hat trick. I mean, this is what FPL does. It's so unpredictable at times. But I mean, if he's a good differential, like Nick says, good differential, 8%. If you're chasing rank and the gut feel tells you Richarlison above all your other players, go for it. If not, you'll probably regret it. If Richarlison does return somehow, some way, somehow, I think if you look at the match where Palace plays Sheffield United, Eze really had a field day. He basically bossed the midfield. Sheffield United left a big hole, in between their attack and their defense. So could that be a space where Richarlison can
exploit?
Exploit.
So basically, with all the focus, what you're trying to say is all the focus being on DCL and marking him, it could possibly create the space for Richarlison to kind of get in there and get a few returns.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. Because Richarlison, he likes to run with the ball. He likes to take players on. I think that was what Eze basically did in the match against Sheffield United. So could Richarlison be that man, or could it be others like Rodriguez or even Sigurdsson? So I don't see. I mean, it's not impossible. And if your gut feel tells you Richarlison, then go for it.
Right. I'm just going to put you on the spot now. Would you do it? That's all I need to know. Would you do it?
Okay, let me just put it this way,
Joe, would you do it? That's all
okay, if I have Richarlison in my team, I would.
Okay.
Okay.
But if you're talking about bringing in an Everton asset,
no, I probably would consider even Sigurdsson over Richarlison, if you ask me.
And Nick?
I fully agree with so. I have DCL, so I would probably back DCL more than Richarlison.
Okay.
Yeah.
but Craig. But that being said, if you have Richarlison in your team, I mean,
I wouldn't captain him.
For God knows why.
I wouldn't captain him, even against Sheffield United. I wouldn't. But that's me personally. I'm not the expert here. That's you guys. But I personally would stay away. I mean, he wouldn't even come into my thinking, I don't think, even though it's against Sheffield United. But yeah, that, like I said, that's just me.
I mean, we'll definitely see, how.
Watch him score.
I can see I'm just going to tell you guys out there, if you're watching, though, Joseph is actually on our group chat, and he filmed that bit, and he's put it up on our group chat, and all the boys are egging him on to do it now that he said it. So I'll update you guys on whether he does do it or not. So we'll leave that at that. Davinia says Godfrey's nailed on, plays 90 minutes, bonus magnet. Coleman has the attacking threat, which is true, but we did see a return from Godfrey during the double game week, so there could be a bit of potential there. We never know. Edwin in goal, he's got Martinez. In defense, Trent, Dallas, Digne. Midfield, Salah, Foden, Son, Jota, Lingard, and up front, Kane, DCL. Sub Watkins. Question: bench Watkins or start instead any of these? Tough question, that. Is Watkins available?
Yep, he's available.
Didn't he get sent off?
Yeah, no, he got his second yellow, so he only served one match, which he already did.
Oh yeah, which he did.
Double game week.
Yeah. So he in fact he's fresh,
Yeah.
So let me see. Everton. No, sorry, they're playing Palace. They're playing Palace away. I think, if I'm mistaken, is it away? Yep, they're playing Palace away. So I don't think you can touch the defenders. There's only 3 defenders there. I mean, definitely Salah, you play him. Foden, if you have him, of course you play him. Son, Jota. I think the only person that I would consider benching is Lingard, if you ask me. I think Lingard, personally, I don't know, I might be wrong again, but I think Lingard will probably blank against Brighton.
I will say this though. I'm just going to say this.
Yep.
Jay Links plays on the left for West Ham, right? Cutting in and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Brighton have a big problem on that side, haven't they? They've got no Lamptey. They've lost Veltman.
Mm-hmm.
Who fills in?
Oh yeah.
I think who filled up that spot? I think on the last match, was it?
Let me see. Let me see. You guys carry on. Let me try and find that for you, Joe.
Lingard. I think Lingard. He probably drifts from the left to the middle, and that is probably, if you ask me, I feel that is almost like Bissouma's territory. And personally, I rate Bissouma highly. You know, I watch him play. He's so comfortable in that position. You know, as bossing that area. So personally, I think Lingard versus Bissouma would be an interesting battle to watch. But I think Lingard, he has been tapering slightly over the past 3 game weeks. 2 points, and the last game week is 1 point. So whether will he get something out of Brighton? And Brighton, you know, mind you, they have probably the best, if not, they probably have one of the best, if not the best, home defensive record. You know, even probably better than City, if I'm not mistaken. So they are, you know, they are really strong defensively at home. Even without Dunk, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a stat where Dunk didn't play at home. I think they only concede like 1 or 2 goals in 3 matches, something like that. So personally, I would probably, if you ask me to sub one and put Watkins in, I would probably drop Lingard.
Okay. Ben White started on that right-hand side. So I'm not sure if they altered the formation and you know, kind of played with Ben White as the right-hand sided centre back, or he played as an out-and-out right back. But yeah, so you'd sub Jesse Lingard for Watkins, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nick?
Yeah, I agree with that logic, because Foden has the rotational risk. So if you were to put Watkins in for Jay Lings, and let's say Foden doesn't play, then Jay Lings, even if he blanks, he's going to come in with the 2-pointer or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So there you have it. Bench Jay Lings, start Ollie Watkins. Let me see. Further down there, Fudsley, Sigurdsson or Digne. Everyone seems to be piling on Everton assets this week. But which one would you go for, Siggy or Digne?
I would go for Siggy.
Siggy?
Back the attacker.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's another point about Digne.
Sorry, just further down there.
Yep.
Siggy, Richarlison, DCL or Digne, Richarlison. What? Siggy, Richarlison, DCL or Digne.
So all attackers or one defender, 2 forwards.
I would go all attackers, you know, because I've saw a stat where when Rodriguez plays, Digne, his attacking, his assist potential drops because Rodriguez will be taking most of the free kicks. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Rodriguez is due to be back against Sheffield United. So, you know, it might just Digne relying on the clean sheet for points. So my take is probably just go full attack if you want to go triple up.
So Digne, Richarlison, and DCL. Or Siggy, Richarlison, DCL. Sorry, Siggy, Richarlison.
Siggy, Richarlison, DCL.
Okay. And
Or if you feel adventurous, you can bring in Rodriguez instead of Sigi.
bit of a gamble though, no, Joe?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go on. Nick, answer this one for us. A hit taken based on previous question. Will another hit, a -4, to take out Lingard to Foden or Gundogan be good?
So just to clarify, Thavindra has already taken one hit, right? As per the last question, I think.
And this will be another hit. So in total will be a -8.
So I know Toe would take the -8. I would be tempted to keep Lingard. You know,
Yes.
I would be tempted to keep him. But hey, if you're a hitman, go for it, man. Go for it.
I mean, I'm just going to step in here in a more expert, even though I'm not one. But I mean, straight away for me, I mean, we've talked about the rotational risks that City have. You know, we know Lingard starts. We know that he's not going to be rested, and he's got good fixtures. Would it be worth risking? And he's going to play the next 3 games.
Yes, exactly. Like I mentioned, in a blank game week, you need to look at all 3 game weeks. Yeah. So if you ask me, I would probably not take that hit.
Yeah. So don't take that hit, Davindra. I know you've already taken a -4. Don't take another one to make it -8. Have faith in Jesse Lingard. He's been scoring, maybe not so much recently, but he's got 3 good fixtures to get himself on that plane for the Euros. So expect him to be going all out there. Hazik asked, should he do a -8 to bring in Dallas for sure?
I mean, I assume it's -4 instead of -8. I think he really took a hit before this. So if you ask me, if you need a player or if you have less than 11 players, basically the hit is only -2. So can Dallas covers that hit over the next 3 game weeks? Yeah, maybe. I can see that happening. Yeah. So yeah, why not?
Okay, do it. Nick, agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. He's also probably going to start as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey Sam, yes, we're having a great stream. I hope you are enjoying it too. Miss you on the show, but I'm sure you're going to be back and taking my place in no time. Let's go on to the next question. Nguli Jings, Cody or Ben Me?
Oh,
it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
What are Burnley's fixtures like?
Well, we looked at Christian, didn't we? And
Craig, I just saw an interesting tweet.
Okay.
It says. I think this is from a handle called Football Intelligence Unit. I think he is pretty spot on with some of the early team news.
Oh,
he says, "I'm told Scott Carson starts for Man City tonight."
What? Scott Carson,
the goalkeeper,
the 3rd choice goalkeeper.
I don't know, man. He was about like 38 or something like that. What's he now, Scott Carson?
Which is what I don't know. This is just a tweet. This is just a tweet. It's in the know. Whether does it come true or not, I don't know. But we will know soon enough because City is the first game.
Okay.
So
he's 35. Scott Carson. He's 35 only. I thought he was much older than that.
Because I think I mentioned just now, where when I said, Edison might even be dropped. Or rotated. So
well, I thought Stephen would step
in. I think so. I thought so too. So I don't know.
More importantly, read out the rest of the team.
I mean, no, that's the only tweet.
He didn't give a leak or anything like that.
No.
Okay. Wow.
Carson.
Oh wait, let me see.
Interesting.
Wait. Oh, okay. No. Go ahead.
Oh.
All right. Back to the question. Cody or Ben Me, guys?
Wolves fixtures don't look very nice. It's a Spurs, Everton, and United. the final three, whereas Burnley have Leeds, Liverpool, and Sheffield final fixture.
I don't know. I mean, is this question for who to start this game week or who to bring in?
I
We
wouldn't
don't
know.
know.
But regardless, I mean, who would you prefer? Seeing the last 3 games that both of these guys have.
I mean, like I said, you know, Pope is out injured, and you have Peacock Farrell coming in against Leeds.
Yeah.
So I don't know what is going to happen. You know,
Peacock Farrell also he joined Burnley from Leeds, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Yeah, and he has an entire Leeds team going to probably siege him. So
it might be inspired. I'd like to see it from the point he wants to prove them wrong for letting him go, prove a point. So,
but Craig, at the same time, you know, I think Nuno did mention that they are going to take it easy with some of the players, especially those who are involved in the national team. So,
oh really?
Yeah. So I mean, there are rumors saying, you know, Cody might be rested. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So
if we had to pick one, guys, Cody or Ben Mee?
I don't know.
Cody.
You gonna go with Cody, Nick?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
close though.
I would go with Cody, but if Cody doesn't start, he most probably doesn't come off from the bench. So you get Ben Mee anyway.
All right, I'm gonna make it easy for you. I'm gonna go Ben Mee on this. I think Burnley defensively are going to be a lot stronger than Wolves in the last 3 games. Let's go around, scroll through the questions. Devendra already has DCL and Watkins starting. Let's see. Hope it's all going well for you, Sam. Sam's copping a lot of crap from some of the guys here because he supports United. I support United too, guys. Yes, and I'm still hurting from yesterday's performance and result. But yeah, let's see. United will do well. Mane or Salah captain? Virgil van Dijk asks. Straightforward Salah, right?
Yeah, simple.
Yeah, okay. Swag, debate this Bale versus Mahrez. We've been doing that for most of the show. That's all I've heard. Bale Mahrez. But I think we agreed to kind of like flip a coin for that one. Max Cross, Wan-Bissaka, Iheanacho to Kufal and Antonio, or Holding and Fernandes to Sufal and Son, both for -4 hit.
I think Arsenal playing? I think Arsenal is playing, right?
Arsenal are playing Palace and wait. In this game week, Arsenal have a blank, right?
Arsenal is blank as well.
Oh, they're blanking, are they? Yeah.
So basically, he's removing 2 blank players for another 2 players that plays. So.
I like the look of Sufal and Antonio a little bit better for some reason.
Sufal and Antonio. So you double up on the West Ham?
Yeah, because it's also thinking about the game weeks after. I would rather have Fernandes than Wan-Bissaka.
Okay.
Good point. I would prefer to keep Fernandes as well. So
okay. So AWB and Iheanacho out for Sufal and Antonio, yeah?
Yeah.
Guys, okay. Virgil van Dijk. Should I take Dallas out and get Coleman, which will put me with triple Everton, as I got wildcard active with Pickford and Godfrey. So he's playing his wildcard.
He's playing wildcard.
No.
I don't like that Dallas going out. Dallas,
I mean, that's
just so good.
That's one thing, Craig. He's going to triple defense. He's going to triple Everton defense.
Yeah, it was a big no.
Triple Everton defense. McGoldrick with 1 goal is going to screw you up. He has a tendency to do that, you know. So.
Yeah. I think who was it that I captained? Was it Burnley? I think it might have been. I played Nick Pope. and Godric popped up with a goal, and I'm just thinking, he scored like 2 all season.
Exactly.
Oh god, it's so frustrating. But yeah, I know what you mean, Joe.
Yeah, no. Don't do it. Virgil van Dijk, as much as you are rehabilitating, don't do it.
Okay, don't do it there, Virgil. Eric says, Foden in for Greenwood, do or don't do?
Depends if you have another United midfielder. I think we've kind of covered this earlier.
To be honest, I'm not a fan because especially if you are hoping that this would be your 11th starting player, might be disappointed. So I don't know. I probably wouldn't do it personally unless.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to have your number 11th player, probably you should bring in a player that is nailed instead.
Okay. Swing says, imagine if Scott Carson starts for Man City tonight. well, it's looking like it could be a serious possibility, Swing. So can't wait to see that lineup in just about an hour and a half's time, or just slightly over that. It should be interesting. Vincent asks, what do you think of Bale's chances of starting this game week? Joe,
This is also...
what do you think the chances are?
Pretty high.
Okay.
He hopes.
We'll leave it at that. Pretty high.
61%.
I love this. Edwin says, when Joe Wick tells you not to take a hit, then you better not.
It's true. It is true.
Just going to Scott Carson. I didn't realize you put it up there. I'm told Scott Carson starts for Man City tonight. Twitter. Jason Rio, makes sense. He's a legend. Makes perfect FPL sense. Everyone's scrambling to get Scott Carson in their teams, especially with no Callum Wilson for Newcastle. But Devinder said the tweet is by Buna, and he's joking.
Oh.
But you saw it from somewhere else, right?
Yeah, I saw it from somewhere else.
Football Intelligence Unit.
Yeah, I mean that sounds pretty legit to me.
The Buna.
Maybe it's Bruna. I don't know. Maybe Bruna.
I'm gonna check that. We'll finish it. We'll finish questions. You check that. Meher asks, after doing Bruno to Salah, I only have 6.3 in cash to replace Iheanacho. Bamford is 6.4 and Antonio is even higher. Should I get Che Adams?
Ooh. So he's saying that he can't get Bamford and Antonio, right?
Yeah, he misses Bamford by 0.1.
Oh, you hate to see it.
You hate it. You hate to see it. Just having a look at that max cost. So he's got 6.3, right?
Yeah.
There's not a lot in that, to be fair.
Yeah, there's not. Oh.
I mean, he can punt with Vidra. Vidra should be in there, right?
Yeah, Vidra is very cheap.
Punt with Vidra. He could go to Benteke, who's starting to score a little bit.
Yeah,
Benteke. No, they got tough fixtures though. Che Adams might be the one,
He might be the one.
He might be the one. Unless I'm just having a look here. No, stay away from Welbeck. Yeah.
Oh,
I can't see any other options.
0.1 off. Oh, yeah.
I'm having 0.1 off. It's the worst thing. I don't wish that on anyone.
That's the worst. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Che Adams. I don't know. I don't know. Che Adams. He has the tendency to pop in and out sometimes with the goods. So.
Well, he did all right last time out, didn't he?
Maybe he should get Benteke.
I mean, why not, right? Why not? Bring him in for just what you can do, to be fair. I mean, I'm not sure who he's taking it out for, but if you're really desperate to bring a striker in, you go Benteke for this game week, and you take him out straight after and bring Iheanacho back in.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to. It's a bit sideways, but I mean,
it's quite sideways, especially with the limited free transfers until the end of the season.
Yeah,
but I think Shea Adams, at least I think his fixture is decent. He's playing against Fulham, I think.
Yeah.
So he did return over the double game week.
Yeah.
At least he's quite nailed, I would say.
Okay, so we're good with that, yeah? Shea Adams?
Yeah. Okay.
If you really need to, then do it.
Unfortunately, the choices are really limited. So.
Sam, unlike Chris Wood, Peacock Farrell is not good at the football.
Oh.
And in case you were looking to make a late transfer on with the breaking news that Joe gave us, Scott Carson is not listed in FPL yet.
Is he not?
Nah, I don't know. I mean, I don't look past City's number one, to be honest.
He's at 3.9.
Oh, Dean said he is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this is breaking news, but Devendra says David Luiz will be leaving Arsenal this summer.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I don't know if that's just kind of like broken while we're doing the show or not. Yeah, let's see. McBurney's in jail as well. So that doesn't bode well for Sheffield United. Virgil van Dijk, might bring myself in my team. I'm starting. D-Dev says, Captain McBurney in jail cage football. Go, love it. Love some of these. Okay, we've got the last couple, I think. I never know. You always watch our streams. I can never know how to pronounce your name. So do drop me a message on how I can actually get it right. But if I do Holding and Fernandes to Soufal and Son, it allows me to get the funds to cover United attack in game week 37, doing Zaha to Greenwood. No Spurs assets in my team worries me. Does he need Spurs assets in his team? With the fixtures that Spurs have?
At least one, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I think it's I mean in that sense is a decent move.
Yeah.
Whether do you want? I think Son. Yeah.
It sounds like you have a plan. Yeah. So I think it should be okay then. You have a point about the Spurs assets. Yeah, it's quite scary.
Okay, Virgil van Dijk. I think I asked, but I'm still unsure who to pick between Godfrey and Coleman. I think we did address this. Actually, no, did we? Can't remember if we did. But we did say that Godfrey is a certainty to start all the matches. But Coleman attacking down that right-hand side might be a better attacking threat. Is that what we can agree on?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about Everton defense, surprisingly.
Surprisingly, yeah. Fudsley, for the last question of the night, free hit. How does this team look? Edison, Mendy, Konsa, KWP, Grealish, Bale, Mahrez, Siggy, DCL, Richarlison, Ings, stick or change Konsa.
Grealish is a name we haven't heard in a very long time.
Yeah, he's back from injury. Came off the bench a couple of nights ago, or was it yesterday? Is he someone that we should be looking at?
I'm not rushing to get him.
Fitness and all that.
I think if not mistaken, he came off the bench and he straight away he created chances.
No.
Yeah, I think he did he did for El Ghazi. I think it was one of them.
So I think he might hit the ground running. I think he really want to I think Dean Smith will probably give him a chance if he feels Grealish is fully fit. He will give him a chance to get as much game time as possible to push for the Euros. So Grealish might be a really good punt or a differential to have. So
you see that? Grealish.
Yeah, I saw. So whether to have Konza, I don't know. Konza, I think it's like what 4.9.
He's 4.7 right now.
It's cheap.
Oh, is it 4.7?
Yeah,
For 4.7, you can get Sufal, right? Around that price.
Yeah.
There's no West Ham coverage.
But other than that, this whole team is really, really, really differential.
Yeah.
He has no Liverpool assets.
I mean, the strike force worries me a bit.
Because of Richarlison.
Personally, I would try to bring in some Liverpool assets.
Some Liverpool, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Other than that, I think it's fine. But this is like super differential. If you have
But if you're still on, you've got about an hour to kind of adjust this free hit team. Get some Liverpool assets in there. Have a look at Konsa and Grealish. Not too sure about them. And might want to rethink that Richarlison pick. Don't be influenced by Joseph. But the boys say get some Liverpool assets in that team. So you've got just about under an hour to do that. So get on that straight away. Vincent, Joe, or Grealish. And then we come up
all
with
day.
Joelish. Edwin, good night. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Appreciate your support as always. And before we go, we've got the last two that we're going to answer, and then we're going to call it a night. We've been on this for 2 hours, which is far too long. It says, please rate my team before you go. Martinez, Trent, Digne, Dallas, Bale, Salah, Jota, Lingard, DCL, Watkins, Bamford.
Looks good.
Good, yeah.
Good to go.
Good to go. There you go, Vincent. Good to go. Will Rafinha and Jota start? Again, we never know these things. Tough ones. But I think Joe did answer it just now for Rafinha. And he did say that Bielsa hinted, didn't specifically say Rafinha or mention Rafinha, but he did hint that players who have been injured won't be thrown straight into the deep end. So take what you want from that. I do think Rafinha will come off the bench regardless anyway. And if he doesn't start this week, he probably will over the next two. So, yeah, there you go. 2 out of 3 isn't too bad, or 2.5 probably. And Jota, what do you guys think? He scored a goal last night, hit the bar. Do you think he starts, or does Mane come back into the side? Or does he go with all 4 like Joe said?
I think Jota will play something. I don't know. But yeah.
Yep. I think Jota was removed for, I think it's at the 74th minute. Not much of a rest, but it's still earlier than, it's still lesser than 90 minutes. So I probably can see him still starting.
Okay. All right, guys, it's been a long one. It's been a good one. Thank you all for watching the stream. We appreciate your support as always. Virgil van Dijk, before we go, I'm going to put this message up there. Godlike stream. And that's down to you guys, really, for answering all the questions from the FPL community. We're always here. We're glad we can help. Boys, thank you so much for jumping on and doing the show for us. I know it's been a long one. It's been a while since I've done one, actually. It feels all brand new to me. But I know it's quite late at night, and there's an hour to go before the transfer deadline. Guys, if you're still tuning in, don't forget to make those changes, save those changes, and take the advice from our experts. Nitro, we're going to say goodnight to you. Thank you so much, and all the best for Game Week 36.
Thank you.
And Joe, likewise, thank you for staying up. I know you got your little kid and everything, so I do appreciate the time you dedicate to this. So thank you for that, and good luck. And I hope you break into the top 10K this week. How many points off are you?
Sorry?
How many points off of 10K are you?
39.
39 points, okay. Maybe not this week, but we've got 3 game weeks to go, so we're all Team Joe right now to get you up there. That'll be a great achievement for yourself. Boys, thank you so much. All the best for Game Week 36. And thank you out there for watching our stream. I know it's been long. We had so much to cover with the triple game week just finishing, the short turnover into blank game week 36. And again, it's going to all come together because game week 37 is just around the corner as well. It's a Tuesday deadline there. So yeah, a lot of quick turnarounds here. So a lot to go through in such a short space of time. For not only me, but for the experts themselves. Don't forget, 1 hour exactly for you guys to make your changes before Newcastle and City kick off. So do rewatch this video if you didn't follow us from the start. Hopefully all your questions and all your queries will be answered or has been answered by the boys. We wish you all the best for game week 36 and may the FPL gods be with you. Before I go, do follow the guys on Twitter. It's @JoeFPL. It's @FPL_Nitro for Nick. Do follow me. It's @CraigMorais11. And do follow the channel. It's @FPL Expectations. Do give us a like and subscribe down below. Thank you, and may the FPL gods be with you.